In the quiet village of Yumu, a mysterious woman named Nanny Omar arrives barefoot, her beauty enchanting and her eyes holding ancient secrets. Men who visit her hut emerge rich beyond their dreams, but at a chilling cost. They vanish without a trace. As wealth seduces the village's men, their wives uncover a sinister truth. Nanny's gifts come with a deadly price. Determined to save their husbands, the women confront a supernatural force, only to face a cursed mirror trapping the lost souls. Will they break the curse, or will Nanny's hunger claim them all? Gradually, the men grew wealthy one after another. Then, they began vanishing one by one. They all shared a common trait. Each had been intimate with a mysterious woman who arrived in our village barefoot. Her arrival went unnoticed. That morning in Yumu's village, the day began typically. Roosters crowed, women pounded yam, and children chased goats playfully. Then, a peculiar woman appeared, walking barefoot along the dusty trail. She wore a long black dress that trailed behind her. Her skin was smooth and pale, as if untouched by the sun. Her eyes, however, were striking, deep, as though they held centuries of secrets. No one knew her name, so they called her Nanny Omar, the beautiful stranger. She spoke little and greeted no one, quietly settling into the old, abandoned compound near the palm grove. That place had been deserted for years, overtaken by snakes and weeds. Yet, in just days, the compound transformed. Flowers bloomed around her hut, and birds sang each morning as if honoring her. Her home carried the sweet scent of fresh rain and herbs. Villagers watched her cautiously from afar. Children avoided playing near her hut. Women whispered rumors while fetching water, and men gazed at her, uncertain of her nature. Strange events soon unfolded. One by one, the village's poorest men visited her. Some claimed they want to offer greetings, others to see if she needed help. But after their visits, something odd occurred. They all became rich. Kichi, the palm wine tapper known for drinking more than working, suddenly built a 2-story house with solar panels. Aonquil, the weary bricklayer, stopped hauling blocks and began driving a white Benz with tinted windows. Baba Onu, unable to afford a bride price for a decade, married a city woman with fake eyelashes and a sleek wig. The village was baffled. Rumors spread, and someone finally spoke the truth. That woman. She gives them money after they sleep with her. At first, it seemed like a jest, but more men began visiting her at night, openly. They dressed finely, wore perfume, and rehearsed love poems under the mango tree. They brought her yams, crates of malt, and bottles of palm wine. Her compound resembled a royal court each evening. Yet everyone knew it wasn't love. It was greed, hunger, and desperation. And it worked. Every man who entered her hut at night left with wealth, money, cars, and fine clothes. Even married men succumbed. The village chairman abandoned his wife at the clinic to bring her a bottle of schnapps. One question lingered, like smoke from a fire. What was her gain? No one asked. No one cared. They only wanted her gifts. Soon, the women of Yumu's village could no longer remain silent. Their husbands were no longer theirs, returning home late, reeking of perfume and strange herbs. Some stopped speaking to their wives entirely, while others became violent over trivial matters. Even the kindest men grew arrogant, strutting like kings. Mama Einen caught her husband sneaking out at midnight with a crate of eggs and a bottle of dry gin. Mama Ibup's husband told her to stop cooking, claiming the woman by the palm grove provided him with special meals. The women had had enough. One afternoon, they gathered under the large mango tree by the village square, leaving behind their children and chores. The air was thick with tension, their anger palpable. Mechi rose first, shouting, "This must end. That strange woman is stealing our husbands." Another woman yelled, "She's using magic." A third cried, "She's a witch. Let's burn her compound down." But Mama Udoka, the village's eldest woman, raised her hand for silence. Her voice was steady yet firm. "We don't know who she is or where she came from, but it's clear our men are chasing her, not the reverse. If we confront her without understanding her power, We risk unleashing something worse. The women agreed to proceed cautiously but refused to stay silent. They resolved to consult the chief priest the next morning. That same night, however, 5 more men visited the enigmatic woman, including the Egu's son, who had never deigned to speak to the poor. He knelt at her doorstep, pleading. By morning, he was driving a red sports car, tossing money in the market square. The women wept, some in their homes, others while cooking. A few packed their belongings and left for their parents' homes, exhausted by competing with a woman they couldn't comprehend. Children sensed the quiet tension at home. The village grew colder, as if something sacred had shattered. Still, the men kept going. Each night, her lantern glowed softly, a beacon, and another man entered her embrace. But things were shifting. Initially, the wealth was all anyone discussed. Men who visited Nanny gained riches overnight. Cars, land, designer clothes, new homes. Then, the disappearances began. It started with Kichi, the former palm wine tapper turned landlord. One morning, his gate stood open, his Benz parked outside with the key in the ignition, but Kichi was gone. They searched the bush, the stream, and behind a shrine. Nothing. He had vanished without a trace. Days later, Baba Onu, who married the city girl, disappeared next. His wife said he received a call at midnight, stepped outside, and never returned. His phone lay at the doorstep, his shoes neatly beside it. Rumors spread like wildfire. They're vanishing one by one. It's her. She's taking them. Fear gripped the villagers, yet the men didn't stop. They rationalized. Perhaps those men angered her. Maybe they broke her rules. Maybe their time was up. Even men who hadn't yet visited rushed to her, fearing the chance would slip away. The women pleaded, cried, and warned their husbands, but their words fell on deaf ears. The question on everyone's lips, who is this woman? Where did she come from? Why did the men vanish after gaining her wealth? No one had answers. Then, one night, the village was shaken again. Okono, the bricklayer who had gained wealth, was seen shouting his compound, eyes bloodshot, screaming, "She's calling me." I told her I'm not ready. She's calling me. Before anyone could intervene, he fled into the night, barefoot and shirtless, never to be seen again. Even the boldest men grew fearful. The women called another meeting, this time with the elders and chief priest. The priest was silent for a long time before speaking. You rushed to a woman you didn't understand. You took her gifts without asking the cost. The room fell silent, the air heavy. He continued, the spirits are collecting their dues. But the worst is yet to come. The next morning, the sky was unusually gray, clouds gathering like waiting spirits. The birds that sang at her compound were silent. The women of Yumu's village prepared themselves, tying their wrappers tightly, adorning red beads and protective charms around their waists. Mama Udoka carried a calabash with sand from her ancestor's grave. Mama Abup held a broom soaked in palm oil. Over 30 women marched through the village like a storm, unstoppable. Men watched from behind trees and fences, some shaking their heads in fear, others whispering, "Let them go. Let them try." At the compound near the palm grove, they stopped. The gate was open, as if she expected them. Her hut stood silent. No smoke, no birds, only the eerie scent of flowers. Mankey stepped forward, shouting, "Nanny, come out. We want to see you." No response. The women chanted songs of war, pain, and their grandmother's time, pouring libations and sprinkling salt and ashes around the compound. Still, nothing stirred. Mama, trembling with rage, raised her broom and shouted, "You've taken our husbands, our peace. Today you answer us." She struck the hut's door once, twice. On the third strike, it creaked open on its own. Inside, the room was bare. No mat, clothes, pots, or lantern, only an old wooden mirror against the wall. Mama Udoka, breathing heavily, stepped inside and gazed at the mirror. She gasped. Reflected in the glass were the missing men. Kichi, Baba Onu, the Egu's son, their faces frozen, trapped, alive but mute. The women screamed. Some fled, others collapsed, a few stood paralyzed. Then, from behind the hut, A soft voice drifted like smoke. You should have stayed home. They turned to see Nanny Omar under the Irako tree, barefoot, in her flowing black gown, her eyes darker than ever, piercing their souls. She didn't smile or move, whispering, "You want to fight me? You've seen nothing yet." The wind howled, the sky roared, and the ground beneath them pulsed, unearthly, alternating hot and cold. Dust and leaves swirled around Nanny, a warning, yet she stood unflinching, regal, watching the women like insignificant ants. Mama Yudoka, her wrapper loose, face slick with sweat, stepped forward. "What are you?" she shouted, her voice breaking. Nanny tilted her head, her tone calm. "Ask your husbands. They made me what I am." The wind grew fiercer, thunder rumbling, though the sky held back its rain. The women stood, some trembling, others frozen. Nanny's face remained serene, untouched by fear or time. But as the wind intensified, her appearance shifted. Her smooth skin cracked slightly at her eyes' corners. Her once lustrous black hair dulled to gray ash. Her delicate hands, once kissed by men, turned bony and wrinkled. The women gasped. Mama Yudoka fell to her knees, whispering, "She's not young. She's not what we thought." Indeed, she wasn't. Nanny Omar was no youthful beauty, but an ancient entity of seduction, punishment, and hunger. Her true name was lost, but her legend persisted in hidden shrine scrolls from times when kingdoms rose and fell. Scorned by her husband, banished for forbidden magic, she had loved deeply, only to be betrayed for a younger woman. In her anguish, she struck a blood pact with a river goddess, begging for eternal beauty and freedom from pain. The goddess granted her wish, but at a cost. You'll feed on men's greed, never love, never linger, always craving their desire, taking what they cherish most. For centuries, she roamed villages, appearing young, luring desperate men, and consuming their lust, greed, and souls. Each man she betted lost something: freedom, sanity, or life, gaining fleeting wealth to blind them before she claimed her price. Her beauty was a facade, a lie. In Yumu's village, she found her prey: broken, greedy men who abused their wives, neglected their homes, and worshipped wealth while scorning the poor. They were her feast. Now, her mask cracked as the women confronted her. She turned to Mama Yudoka, her voice like rustling dry leaves in harmattan. "Your men came willingly. I didn't pursue them. I gave them what they sought." Mama Yudoka rose. "But you took them." Nanny's cold, cruel smile appeared. "No, they surrendered themselves. I merely collected what was owed." She turned to the hut, where the mirror glowed faintly red, the trapped men silently screaming. The women wailed in agony. Mama hurled a stone at the mirror. It bounced off the glass and scathed. "Please," a woman begged, "return our husbands." Nanny stared, unyielding. Greed's takings can't be undone by tears. She stepped back into the Irako's shadows and vanished in an instant. The wind ceased, birds returned, the sky cleared, but the hut and mirror remained, the men's faces still trapped within. That night, Yumu's village didn't sleep. Wails echoed. Women mourned. Children clung to their mothers, asking, "Where's Papa?" No answers came, only fear. The women returned from Nanny's compound, some limping, others dusty, too pained to speak. By morning, the village knew the men were imprisoned in the mirror, and Nanny was gone. The elders convened under the Irako tree. Chief Iguanan, whose son was among the lost, held his red cap, eyes swollen with tears. Chief priest Dibianachi sat silently before speaking. "She has fed, but her hunger will return. If we do nothing, she'll strike again, perhaps elsewhere, taking more." The villagers pleaded. "What can we do? Can we break the mirror? Call their spirits back?" Dibianachi shook his head. "This isn't a simple curse. It's a pact sealed by blood and desire. The men chose this. Breaking it requires more than fire or chance. We must face the goddess who empowered her." The villagers gasped. Only one elder, long dead, had spoken of this river goddess. Mama Udoka stepped forward. I know the path. My grandmother taught me. The river lies deep in the forest, beyond the lands of silence. It's a perilous journey. The elders agreed a team must go, but only the pure-hearted could survive. Those tainted by greed or who visited Nanny wouldn't endure. 3 were chosen: Chimamanda, a young widow who resisted remarriage; Obina, a boy whose father was trapped in the mirror; and Mama Udoka, fearless and wise. Dibianachi gave them sacred tokens: bitter leaf water to ward off illusions, a white cloth for peace, and a sacred egret's feather, able to cross cursed waters. The village prayed as the 3 entered the forest at dawn, leaving behind fear, grief, and silence. At the Palm Grove compound, the mirror hummed, its light flickering then, brightening. Kichi's eyes opened within the glass, silently screaming, trying to warn them, unheard. Something else stirred in the forest, watching. The forest wasn't merely dense, it pulsed with life. Every step Chimamanda, Obina, and Mama Udoka took felt observed. Trees whispered, winds carried eerie voices, and time slowed as sunlight barely reached the ground, as if the forest resisted their quest. Obina gripped the feather, eyes wide with fear. Chimamanda prayed softly, walking silently. Mama Udoka led, her steps firm, muttering ancient incantations from her grandmother. After hours, they reached a clearing with a narrow, crystal-clear river, still as glass, silent, surrounded by leafless trees. "This is the river of silence," Mama Udoka whispered. "The goddess dwells here." They removed their shoes. Chimamanda poured bitter leaf water in a protective circle. Obina placed the white cloth by the riverbank. Mama Udoka knelt, speaking in an ancient tongue. "Great Mother of Waters, we come in peace, hearts heavy. Your daughter, Nanny, traps our men with your gift. We beg for mercy." The water remained still. Then a ripple crossed it, followed by another. The river parted like a curtain, and a tall, glowing woman emerged, her skin like moonlight, eyes silver, hair flowing like water, exuding power without a crown. This was Isani, the river goddess. Obina fell to his knees, trembling. Chimamanda's voice quavered. "Great Mother, our husbands, fathers, brothers are trapped. We didn't know she was stealing them. Help us." Isani's face was expressionless, her voice resonating in their bones. "You blame the girl, but what of the men? Did they not choose her freely for wealth?" Mama Udoka bowed. "We admit their greed, great one, but it curses us all. We seek a second chance, a cleansing." Isani gazed into Chimamanda's eyes. "What will you offer in return?" Silence fell. Chimamanda stood. "Take me. Free them and take me instead." Obina gasped, "No." But Isani raised her hand. "Your heart is pure," she told Chimamanda. "Your sacrifice holds power." To Obina, she said, "You are sinless, but your blood is key." Obina stammered, "What do you mean?" Isani revealed, "Your father was Nanny's first in this village. His pact opened her path. To close it, you must sever his bloodlines tied to her." Mama Udoka gasped. "You mean?" Isani nodded. "Obina must choose. Burn the mirror, destroying the lost souls, or spare them and bear the curse until another rises." Obina's legs buckled. Chimamanda steadied him. "What now?" she whispered. Isani sank into the river, saying, "Return to the village. The mirror will call. But beware, once it whispers your name, time is short." She vanished, the river stilling. Far away, in the Palm Grove compound, the mirror glowed red, the trapped faces weeping, a soft voice calling Obina's name. 3 days later, they returned to Yumu's village. The villagers awaited, women hopeful, elders gathered, children hushed, sensing the sacred. Obina, silent, marched to the Palm Grove compound, heart racing, palms sweaty. The mirror glowed like a smoldering coal, showing Kichi, Baba Onu, and his father, their eyes pleading silently. Mama Udoka touched his shoulder. "Obina, it's time." Chimamanda held a bag from the goddess, containing powder from the root of remembrance to break otherworldly bonds. As she opened it, Obina froze. "They're alive," he whispered. "I feel it." Mama Yudoka nodded. "The goddess said destroying the mirror frees the village, but their souls will burn." Obina stared at his father's face, a man who never embraced him, who beat his mother and chased Nanny's wealth. Yet he was his father. Tears welled. On his knees, he whispered, "Why did you do this?" The mirror trembled, cracks forming. It whispered, "Obina, join us. Touch the glass for all they had and more." He shook, facing the same choice as the men. But he recalled Chimamanda's words in the forest. True strength is rejecting desire to protect the helpless. He rose, took the powder, and faced the mirror. "I forgive you, Papa, but this ends now." He threw the powder. The mirror screamed, cracking once, twice, then shattering into countless pieces like sparks from a fire. A fierce wind knocked everyone down. The faces vanished, the mirror gone, the hut collapsed, flowers withered, and birds never returned. The curse lifted, but the men were lost forever. In the weeks after, peace slowly returned to Yumu's village. The remaining men grew humble, some confessing their greed at the shrine, others seeking their wives' forgiveness. Obina spoke little, but carried a quiet strength. The village never forgot. They built a shrine where the mirror stood, not for Nanny, but as a warning. On its wall, they inscribed, "Greed opens a wide door, but behind it lies an insatiable hunger. Wealth without honor always exacts a price." Thus, Yumu's village learned a harsh truth. The greatest danger lies not in the temptress, but in the heart that yields to her. The end.